Hey folks, welcome to the video. Today we're going to show the SQL sum function. We're also going to show how to do a running total. We're going to show partition by. Basically, by the end of this, you'll see how to use the sum function as an analytical function, or what some people call a window function. We're going to touch on group by, and I have to mention that in this table, every field is set to varchar because I'm also using this table to do a BCP video, bulk copy protocol. So that might be something that you want to look at. It's going to be a real world example of how you would have lag and sum and use them not just in like a demonstration like I'm about to show today, but real world, something that you can, it's actually usable at work. But anyway, let me get into it. I just mentioned the fact that everything's varchar, like even salary, that's going to create a couple of issues, but that's good. It'll be good exposure for you. So anyway, let's execute this puppy. Typical, employee table. We've got first name, last name. Hey, Steve Rogers, wasn't he one of the Avengers? Jack O'Neill, wasn't he Stargate SG-1? But anyway, Charlie Brown, didn't he have a big head? Okay, so anyway, we've got the first name, last name, salary, and department. Now, what I'm going to do is, let's say that your boss says, oh, I just want a list of every department and the total salary, the sum of all the salaries put together for that department. Well, you could do a group by, but if you didn't know how to do that, you'd have to do something really convoluted like this, where, you're selecting from the employees table, but then you'd have to have a subquery where you're calling the same table, and then you're sort of, doing one of these things where the department from this employees table equals the department from that employees table. Just a big mess. And it's kind of all this unnecessary. Or you could just do, in the from clause, you could interjoin it against itself. That's another way to do it. But anyway, it's just a lot of extra work for no reason. But when I run this, we're going to get an error. See, because I'm trying to do a sum on a text field. Okay? Normally, we wouldn't have to do this. But what I'm going to do here is I'm casting salary to a decimal. And in this particular table, I probably could have used int. But anyway, if I do this, boom, there we go. As you can see here, the software guys are making like 4 million total. And so they're doing okay. They're making money. Research and development, well, they're kind of down there. Security, management. Wow, sales is really low. Yeah, they must be horrible. The mailroom, they're the mailroom. Okay, so anyway, so this is one way to do this, but you really want to use a group by, because instead of writing all this crap, you could just do this. Wait a minute, not that one. We're going to do this. Now, this is going to get an error again because I'm trying to do a sum on salary, which is a varchar, or a text field. So let me do this where I'm casting it to a decimal, okay? And then let me run this. And boom, see, it's the same thing. Just doing this, select your fields, nothing special, from the table, and then a group by, and then this, it's way better than having to write out all this extra garbage. But see, a group by is limited. When you do a group by, it shows you what you're asking for, but you can't really add other fields to it. It doesn't work like that, because if you add first name or last name, then it wants you to group by that. So what if your boss says, well, I want to show all the fields, but then I want a running sum of the salaries? Well, here's what you could do. And again, if I do it this way, sum salary, it's text, it's going to break. So let me do this. It's good training for you guys. You'd be surprised how often you'll see like a numeric field and it's text. That could be when you're pulling it in from an import file, like in BCP, as I'm sure most of you know. So anyway, let me run this. Now look at this. Now, what we have, starting with, wow, Steve Rogers makes only the smallest amount. Oh, you know what it is? I'm ordering it by salary. But do you know what's happening? It's ordering it by anything that starts with the number 1. So it's not really ordering it the correct way. So here, we're going to have to do it like this. We're going to have to order. This is a good catch. And then Okay. So now, see, 120,000 should not come before 21,000. So does it work? Okay, there we go. Snoopy the dog makes 8,000 because he's a dog. Dave Morgan, oh, there's actually a Dave Morgan that I like. Um, but see, this running sum is not going to work now. Oh, and I have to I have to do this. Okay. So now what we have is a running salary and everything's right. But see all those changes I had to make because it's a text field? What a pain in the neck. That space doesn't need to be there. So the first one's 8,000, so the sum is 8,000. The next one's 8,100, so the sum is 16,100. The next one's 83, so now the three-way sum is 24,400. And it goes all the way through. But you know, your boss may say to you, well, I want this broken down by department. And it actually looks like it is by department right now. I'm surprised that that worked out like that. That's just, trust me, that can't be that perfect. Maybe. Anyway, but here's the thing. Maybe your boss looks at this and he's like, "Oh, you're a genius, but I want the running total. I want this total not to keep going, but I want it to restart." Like, you know, for janitorial 18,000, I want that to say 18,000. HR, I want that to say 21,000. How would you do that? Well, the way you would do that, first of all, is by doing this. Get rid of this error, but then also the salary, we'll do this. Now, see what we're doing, what's different about this and this, here we have some, you know, all this, but here's what you want to look at. Over, this over keyword and this stuff in here, see how it says order by? Well, the only thing different on this screen is that when you have over, see the order by is way over here, but there's this other thing called partition by. Well, what does that do? By the way, in T-SQL, when you use an over, you can use partition by, it's optional, but you have to use an order by. See, in other RDBMSs, you can, at like Postgres, you can use over and then a partition by. You don't have to have an order by, but if you're missing an order by in T-SQL, it will crash, usually, unless they came out with a new version that I don't know about. So anyway, let's run this bad boy. And now look at this. Look at this. The difference between these two screens, see this one here, the numbers just keep going higher, 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 higher. Wow, could I have that money? But here, the odometer resets at every single one. So like, for example, here, it stops at 50,000, and then when we get to HR, it starts over again at 21,000, and then it adds the other, and it keeps going. So you can understand why they call these analytical functions. You're analyzing stuff. But why do they call them window functions? Because we're doing this, we're partitioning by department. See, even this here, this is an analytical function. Here, it's an analytical function and a window function. And here's the difference, and some people are going to argue with me. I don't care. But here's the thing. This makes a window. If you think about it, which is different than this window, because it's partitioned. You could argue, and here's where the argument comes from, you could argue that in this one, the whole thing is a window, but then, you know, like, it's like, what, you're going to have a building with one window? It takes up the whole building. So that's why they call it a window function. Notice it's not Windows like the operating system, it's like window, like a window. So anyway, that's it. I hope you liked it. I hope it was instructive. I hope it wasn't too long. Yeah, sure, Dave. Just stop talking. No, but if you like this video, please consider smashing the like button. If you love this video, you may just want to subscribe, become a subscriber. We come out with stuff all the time. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear your comments. All right. Well, listen, it's been fun. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Make some money.